Thank you so much for joining us. You're in our Why Accept membership in Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society webinar today. My name is Heather Schmidt. I serve as the Director of Membership Services here at Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over for a brief introduction to my colleague, Kristen Grissom at headquarters as well.
Hey everyone, I'm so glad to have you here today. I'm Kristen Grissom and I'm the Director of Scholarships and College Relations. So we get the distinct privilege of not only encouraging you to apply for scholarships, but also helping you win those scholarships and pairing you up with good four-year colleges like Sharon Grice that you'll get to meet in just a minute, who have exclusive benefits and opportunities available exclusively for our members. So welcome and feel free to chat with us throughout the presentation with any questions that you have, and we'll get to those as we go. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Kristen, and I'm now going to turn it over to one of our very special guests. We're so thrilled to have with us from Cornell College, located in Iowa, and this is Sharon Grice. Sharon, I'll go ahead and let you say hello.
Sure, hello, it's great to be here. We've been working with Phi Theta Kappa students for 7 or 8 years now, so we have a long history with them, and it's great to be on this call.
Thank you, Sharon. And last but certainly not least, we have our superstar, Bill Clifford, who is a current Phi Theta Kappa member and officer. So I'll go ahead and unmute Bill now so he can say hello to everyone.
Hello, my name is Bill Clifford. I'm Northwest District Vice President of the Iowa region of Phi Theta Kappa and former chapter president of Beta Zeta Mu at Western Iowa Tech in Sioux City, Iowa.
Oh, thank you so much, Bill, and thank you, Sharon and Kristen, for all being here, as well as our participants who have joined us, and thanks for finding that chat box. Just a quick housekeeping note, we are here to answer your questions. So if you have a question, even right now, and you want to go ahead and get that out there so you don't forget, please go ahead and use your mouse, navigate to the Q&A box that you should see if you kind of hover over the taskbar with your mouse. And you can go ahead and type in your question about anything related to Phi Theta Kappa, and we will make sure that we look at it and give you an answer. If you have a question about a technical difficulty or some sort of other thing that you want to make sure that is brought to our attention, please use the chat box for that purpose. We want to definitely make sure we see all of your questions and therefore use that Q&A box for questions. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started, and as questions pop up, just go ahead and ask away, and we will make sure we get to that as soon as we see the questions. All right, let's go ahead and move forward on our slideshow today. Our first slide is, we do have a mixed audience here, so I just want to bring this up in case you are not quite familiar with Phi Theta Kappa. We are not in a sorority, we are not a fraternity, in fact we are an honor society. And so you see in front of you the Greek letters, which is the reason a lot of times we get confused for a Greek organization. Phi Theta Kappa, so PTK, and you'll see our letters and our roots come from those Greek words that have meanings of wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Probably one of the coolest facts about Phi Theta Kappa that I can think of is that we are almost 100 years old. So we have a lot of history, we have a lot of pride and heritage and tradition with Phi Theta Kappa, and that's why we think it's very important to make sure that you know how big of a deal this is and how big of a responsibility it is to become a member of Phi Theta Kappa. We have a lot of prestige, and organizations that are out there like Cornell College, for example, respect the fact that our organization is so old and has so much prestige that we really try to make sure that our partnerships are dependent on those four-year schools that are really respectful of our organization. So I just wanted to point that out as far as PTK. We are an honor society, and we are about leadership, we're about scholarship, fellowship, and service, and those are really our 4 hallmarks. And I'll move right on to the mission statement, because if you're going to join an organization, you really want to know what it stands for, or what you're going to stand for as an ambassador of that organization. So here's our mission statement, and put very simply, we are here to recognize you for your academic achievement. We want to make sure that you have opportunities to succeed as leaders and scholars and to grow as such. And so really everything we do is to support and serve students at the 2-year college level. So you might be pursuing coursework right now that would be applicable to an associate degree or a certificate program. And in fact, that's why you got an invitation to join Phi Theta Kappa, because you're in that type of coursework. So once you leave your 2-year program or you're no longer on that 2-year path, you will not continue to receive emails inviting you to Phi Theta Kappa. So we definitely want you to take this opportunity very seriously, because if you're about to graduate, this could be your last opportunity to join Phi Theta Kappa, and we don't want you to miss out on the recognition that you've earned and you deserve. And I do see a question popping up, so let's take a quick look and see what we have. Where can I find basic statistical information regarding membership to share with our members? That is a great question, and I'll go ahead and answer that because that is very important, and it shows that you want to be an ambassador of Phi Theta Kappa, which I very much appreciate. The best resource that I could point you to is our toolkit online. We have a visibility toolkit, and you will find resources there that will help you with recruitment and chapter development. We have these great recruitment cards on our store website that you can order for free. So you do have to place an order so we know how many that you want to receive, but it is completely free. And those are two-sided, kind of front and back flip cards that have great statistics on Phi Theta Kappa, about how many members we have, what our average GPA is, all kinds of wonderful statistics to help you recruit. So thanks for that question. If you want to find it, it's ptk.org/store to find those recruitment cards. And if you have any other questions, no matter what it is, please ask. That's definitely what we're here for. Bill, let me bring you into this quickly. I want to know, just out of curiosity, when you received your invitation to join Phi Theta Kappa, obviously you chose to accept membership, and now you're here wearing your Phi Theta Kappa shirt and your medallions. What did it mean to you to become a member of Phi Theta Kappa? So what stood out for you, or why, I guess, did you go ahead and accept membership?
First of all, the recognition of the grade point average that recognizes that you're an exceptional student, that you're one of the best. And then I started learning about all the service work they do, which was really an opportunity for me to grow as a person and a leader.
That's great. I really appreciate you mentioning the GPA because that is a very important requirement to be an honor student and part of an honor society and academically oriented for sure. But once you're a member, you can get involved with all sorts of things like Bill mentioned, which would be a service project, for example. So I do want to flip ahead to the slide about eligibility so you can see what we're talking about. We do have a 3.5 GPA requirement. It varies slightly by chapter just because we are here to really serve and support the college campus. And no two colleges are exactly alike. So some of our schools do have a little higher or a little slightly lower GPA requirement. But the important thing to know is once you join, once you pay that one-time lifetime membership fee, you're a member of Phi Theta Kappa for life. There is a maintenance GPA that you would want to be aware of for your chapter just to make sure that you're maintaining a high academic standard, but you're never going to be asked to pay another fee, like a semester fee or another type of fee related to membership. So it literally is a one-time lifetime investment in your membership fee. And generally speaking, the way that we found out about you, if you're one of those students who received what you might think is a mysterious invitation to Phi Theta Kappa, we found out about you through your school because you had reached that benchmark of 12 credit hours, the benchmark GPA that's set by your chapter, which is generally about a 3.5. And because of that, your chapter advisor, who is a faculty or staff member on your campus, we have over 3,000 chapter advisors at over 1,300 chapters around the country right now. So we have faculty and staff on your campus that serve as your advisors, and they are the ones that reported to headquarters about your academic progress. And so for that reason, you received an invitation to join Phi Theta Kappa. And let's see if we have any other questions. I already answered that one. And so if you have any more questions while we're unfolding and telling this wonderful story of Phi Theta Kappa, please jump in and ask. We want to make sure that you have all of your questions answered, that you have no misconceptions about what we are or what we are not. And that way you're making a truly informed decision about whether or not you wish to accept membership. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the map so you can see where we are. We are just about everywhere. We have chapters in all 50 states, and we expand across 9 nations. When you look at some of our chapters located in international territories, we have Canada, which was the first one which came on board as far as an international chapter, and that's why we became Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society International, because of those roots in 9 different nations. And so if you look here at the map, you will see that we're split up into states on this particular map, but we have 29 regions. So if you're a member of Iowa, which happens to be its own region, Bill would have opportunities not just at his local campus, but also throughout the Iowa region. And then he could attend, besides regional events, international events, which move around from year to year. And we have 2 big international events every year called Honors Institute and International Convention. And those can be located anywhere across the country. We do try to move it around. So there's some really exciting things that go on, and you'll meet people from different areas of the country that you probably never would have met otherwise had you not accepted membership in Phi Theta Kappa. So let me take a look at the questions again. The link again to recruit potential members. Yes, it's a visibility toolkit on our Phi Theta Kappa page. I believe it's ptk.org/visibility toolkit. If Kristen would be so kind to look that up and paste that in the chat box for us. And then if you want to order those cards that I was talking about, those recruitment cards, those are front and back, and those are in ptk.org/store. And that's where you can go ahead and order those in addition to the resources in our toolkit. Great questions. Let me ask Bill here. Do you want to jump in, Bill, and tell us about regional events? Have you been able to do any traveling or gone anywhere outside of your local campus as a Phi Theta Kappa member?
Yes, actually, we have 2 regional events here in Iowa every year, our spring conference and then our Honors in Action Institute. And I've been to both of those. I also went to the international convention, PTK Catalyst, this year, and last year it was called Nerd Nation. I made it to both of those, and I had a wonderful time. I've met so many people through this organization that I never would have met before, from all over the country. It's just a great experience.
Thank you so much, Bill. And you know, students a lot of times might think that they don't have time to do things, but I promise you, once you get involved with Phi Theta Kappa, if you go to your chapter meetings and just kind of take step 1 and bite off a small part that you know you can handle, I think before you know it, you'll be looking at, okay, what's the next level? What can I achieve next? And Bill, I know I had a quick conversation with you before we went live on the air today, and you were talking about how that happened to you. So I want you to take a quick look at this little society structure graphic that we have on the screen here that shows local, regional, and international opportunities. Would you mind telling us how you got involved as a chapter officer and as a regional officer? Just kind of walk us through that process and how it worked for you.
Well, I had not actually, and I kind of got my arm twisted a little bit and said, yeah, you should be an active member. And it just kind of grew from there. I started out being an active member, then a chapter officer, chapter president, and now district vice president for the region. And when I first started, I was one of those people that sat in the back of the room and didn't say a word.
I think we're a little frozen on that end. Can you guys still hear me, Kristen? Okay, great. So Bill was telling us about how he was one of those people who kind of sat in the back of the room and wasn't as active, and then became a chapter president and now a regional president. Oh, and we have another member who's joined us. Do you want to tell us your name?
I'm Kelly. I'm the Iowa regional president.
Hi, Kelly.
I'll be here tomorrow, though.
Thank you so
Got
much.
out of class.
Very good. Well, we're happy to have both of you. And Bill was just explaining the importance of active membership and taking on these leadership roles that you might not have thought you would do or might not have had the confidence to do right away once you became a member. And Sharon, I would like to bring you into the conversation. Sharon's with us, a transfer coordinator from Cornell College, and they really value transfer students, particularly Phi Theta Kappa members. So Sharon, I'd be interested to hear your perspective. Why is it important for these students to consider being active members and taking on some of these officer positions and other leadership opportunities?
Well, first of all, Phi Theta Kappa students are the best of the best, and I truly mean that. So we'll bring in 30 to 40 transfer students every fall. Over half of them are PTK students. So this means that this will open up a door for them for scholarship opportunities. Our scholarships range from $12,000 up to full tuition, and this year, the one full tuition we gave, it went to a Phi Theta Kappa student. They are the best because not just their GPA, but they bring leadership skills. They are very civically engaged, and so their service to their community is amazing. They're a very good fit with Cornell students. And you know, for a transfer, we only have them for 2 years, and PTK students get on campus and immediately they're engaged and they're running clubs and they're running for student senate and they're just doing all these amazing things because they've been trained through Phi Theta Kappa. So yeah, that's exactly why Cornell is engaged with this group.
Thank you so much, Sharon. That is a very compelling testimony, and I think she really hit the nail on the head. We call our members the movers and shakers on campus, and in the transfer world, we do know that our students are considered the blue chip recruits on the community college campuses or at the 2-year level. So to hear a 4-year representative kind of talking in those terms as well is really refreshing, and we certainly hope that our students understand that the 4-year colleges are definitely looking and watching and interested in seeing your applications come through for sure. Let me go ahead and go back to our slides here. I want to go one ahead because Sharon just mentioned some things about leadership opportunities and training and how well prepared our members are for the next step. And I just want to give a quick overview at the chapter level. So we're talking your local college level. So maybe you're thinking about membership and you're not thinking, okay, I don't have time to go on to all these international conferences, or I don't have the resources to go to my regional conference. So just think locally for a second. You know, you get to your campus probably to go to class unless you're a completely online student, which we hope you can still have access to your local campus. So if it's not too much to think just locally for a minute, here are all of the opportunities that you would have to leverage your membership to really make the most of your investment, even just at your campus level. So this is putting aside regional and international events for a moment and just looking and focusing in on your chapter level, your campus level opportunities. So Bill and Kelly, I would like to ask you if you want to talk a little bit about the induction ceremony and what that experience was like to you. What did it mean for you to be at your induction ceremony, just so students might have a better idea of what happens?
Go ahead.
Our induction ceremony is, it appears a little more, it's more cozy and more, a little more intimate because we're a smaller campus in a smaller city. So a lot of us know each other, and the induction ceremonies are usually, they're fairly quick. I think some of the parts that we struggle with are pronouncing some of the Greek words in our speeches. But overall, it's a really beautiful ceremony. I mean, we've taken a look across all of Iowa, and because we connect through social media, and we just see some really gorgeous induction ceremonies. For ours, we usually do a white rose, we do the candle, and the symbolic blowing them out, lighting them, etc. We take a lot of pictures. We also make sure that we try to inform new members. We show them pictures and slideshows of all the crazy and awesome things that we do all semester long. And yeah, they're really fun. I like to do them.
It's really nice to have the families involved too, so the families get to see the recognitions that the students get. And we usually have a small luncheon afterwards, and everybody kind of fellowships together.
That's great. Thanks for mentioning that, Bill, because I think, you know, no one gets to where they are alone. There's always someone there making a sacrifice behind the scenes to help you get to where you are, and this is a wonderful opportunity. I encourage any new member, you might see induction ceremony and think, oh, I'll just skip this isn't important. I tell you, we have members tell us that that was the moment that they really trace back to their success, and they felt like that was a turning point in their life, or put them on a little different trajectory in their life, to see that how much it meant for themselves, but also for their family and their mentors and friends that were joining them, to really see them excelling and being able to get recognition for academics. So if you're considering membership, please not only join, but also go to your induction ceremony, because it really helps you bond with your local chapter. And there's also, plenty of other things here, the chapter meetings, orientation, awareness and recruiting. All of these are great things. Even if you don't have the time or the capacity, or maybe not even the confidence or desire to be a chapter officer, you don't have to necessarily do that. In fact, there are no mandatory requirements to be a Phi Theta Kappa member. You just have to maintain your academics to get this recognition. But I will say, if you want to be able to tell a compelling story on a scholarship application, or impress a recruiter like Sharon from Cornell College when you send in your application, you will have to tell a compelling story and be able to compete with the other people who are applying for the same opportunities. So even if you're just a member, don't downplay that or discredit being an active member. You can still use that and tell a very compelling story about how you're recruiting for your campus. We had a student asking about, how can I be a better recruiter and ambassador? We were talking about resources. So right there, that's a very transferable and marketable and valuable skill that if you tell the story the way that it should be told through your Phi Theta Kappa experience, you can really make the most and leverage your membership fairly quickly and easily. You might not even know that you're doing it, but building those awareness and recruitment skills are something that any organization would be very happy to hear that you have those skills.
And speaking of skill sets, we have a question from Edna about the induction ceremony and speeches and speech development. So Edna was just asking, are the induction ceremony speeches written, or do officers have to prepare them?
I will let Bill and Kelly answer that from your perspective, and then I'll jump in. What has happened with you guys? Do you prepare your own speeches as officers?
Our chapter advisor usually she pulls the script, and I think you can get that from the PTK website. And then we kind of just we change a few things that will that are relevant to our chapter and the Iowa region. So so we really don't have to stress out about it too much. We just have to practice those Greek words.
Yes, that's tricky. We even have a video on that, so we can send it your way if you're struggling.
Yay!
Don't worry. We don't always use the Greek alphabet in our day-to-day life, so that is even something as a student who's just starting out in your college career, it's pretty remarkable. You get to learn how to say the Greek alphabet. And I will say that I'm working with a student right now who has contacted me about induction speeches because she's been asked to go to another chapter and give an induction speech. And I'm more than happy to help students myself prepare for those, because that's a great skill, getting to talk to the advisor at that chapter and learn about their campus and who they serve, and really write a personalized speech based on that audience. So these are some amazing challenges, and I told that young lady, I was never someone that gave a speech during my whole 4 years of college, let alone my first 2. No one asked me to give a speech in a public setting like that. So pretty incredible opportunities that I think our members kind of take for granted because they're the best and the brightest. But these are really things you should be putting down on your resume and making special note of. Let me go ahead onto our next one, recognition. And this was something that Bill touched on as far as why he joined Phi Theta Kappa. And Kelly, would you say recognition was an important part of your decision to join Phi Theta Kappa?
Recognition isn't something that I really stress too much about. I'm really more of that individual that likes to see results, and I like how I change in the process of the Honors in Action project, striving to help other students, making sure that every student has all the resources that they can have access to. I mean, that's what makes me sleep at night. So, but to wear the medallions, I think they're kind of very clunky and they're kind of awkward. But it is nice to wear them, and I do feel like I've accomplished something. So, I mean, yeah.
That's a great perspective. And so some of the critical thinking skills that you're developing out of the projects that we do through Phi Theta Kappa are very meaningful. I would say students who attend Honors Institute, for example, I went for my first time last year and I immediately came back and said, this is pretty much graduate school. So any of these students who are there are ready for graduate school now, or at least they're going to know what to expect when they get there. And then as far as recognition, one of the things, once you become a member of Phi Theta Kappa, we send you a membership acceptance packet. And we see on social media all the time people posting pictures of their certificate. It's a very nice frame-worthy certificate. And you get a membership pin as well, which I have on the screen in front of you. If anyone's looking at their computer, you can see the golden key pin. And that's a real important piece of recognition, because we know that if you wear that into a situation like an interview, for example, you might attract attention from someone who was a Phi Theta Kappa alum themselves, and then strike up a conversation, and before you know it, you have an opportunity put in front of you just because they already know what those letters PTK stand for, and they recognize that and actually recruit members specifically for opportunities. So Sharon, I don't know if you can comment too much on this. I don't think I asked you this beforehand, but when you have students apply to Cornell College, for example, do you have them submit their membership certificate, or do you prefer appear on their transcript? Can you talk to us a little bit about how you get to see the recognition of Phi Theta Kappa come through on your desk?
Sure. Most of the time it's on the college transcript, so that's where we verify it. But students are very proud of their certificates, and so I do see many of them submit copies of their certificates through the application process, which is perfectly fine.
That is great, and we appreciate the flexibility with your process, and for students to be able to tell you that they're members and show you. And I see Bill is wearing his medallion right now. So Bill, do you want to jump in and tell us what exactly you're wearing around your neck? Because I see the medallion and tons of pins. Do you want to give us a little explanation of that?
We lost our audio for a minute. Can you repeat that?
Oh, absolutely. I was asking, would you mind telling us about your medallion and your pins?
Okay. Actually, this one is a Iowa Community College 50-year anniversary pin, which Iowa Community College just celebrated their 50 years. There's the gold key pin. This one is an Iowa Region pin. And this one is the 5-star competitive edge pin.
Very good. And we have the picture of the 5-star competitive edge pin in the bottom right. And so I'm glad you mentioned competitive edge, because sometimes students might be online students, or they might be place bound and not able to travel. And I write this in probably 5 emails a day at least when students come to me with that situation. I really want to join, but I don't see the value if I can't get out there, and I don't have the time, or maybe they don't have the resources as far as childcare, for example, to go to meetings. So I let every student know who is not really able to get out there, we have resources that you can use on your own time, such as competitive edge. So if you're a member, even if you're thinking about becoming a member, please visit the Phi Theta Kappa website and look at the Competitive Edge program. This is a professional development program, fully online. It's self-paced, so you can work on it as slow or as fast as you desire. And once you complete all of the modules of the 5-star Competitive Edge program, you're considered a completer. You have to submit a little portfolio that's reviewed by our staff. And then if you so choose, you can tell your advisor, who a lot of times will turn around and get you a 5-star pin, which you see on the screen here and which Bill has on today. Those are also available for a very low cost in the Phi Theta Kappa store. But we do have members that also wear this 5-star competitive edge pin for that recognition. And really the important part to me is to be able to tell the story of how you got that pin or how you finished the program, because it's another example of you taking the initiative. You didn't have to do this. You weren't getting a grade for this. You know, no one is going to know if you did it or not. But if you take that initiative, it really means a lot to employers and to four-year university representatives to hear that you're someone that wants to go above and beyond, that you want to personally and professionally develop. So a great example of taking initiative that you can actually describe and talk about. It's very easy to say that you're somebody that takes initiative and not back it up with any examples, but this one is a really solid example of developing skill sets. Bill, do you mind telling us a little bit about 5-star competitive edge in terms of what you gained from it?
5-star competitive edge is a self-paced program that teaches soft skills such as interviewing skills,
public speaking.
Yes, how to conduct yourself in a meeting or something like that.
There's also that there's a paper, I can't remember what it's called. What's the paper called?
Case study challenge.
Yes, a case study challenge, which there's a scholarship for too. So I mean, it's a nice opportunity to be able to do that. So it builds your research skills as well. And it develops a lot of these skills that most students don't realize that they're going to need for the real world. So that's very nice to have.
Very good. So things that you might not learn in the classroom per se about a particular subject, but kind of the real life soft skills that you need to get through your next interview or get through your next public speaking opportunity. So a lot to be learned in 5-Star Competitive Edge, and I hope you can actually view the website without being a member. You're not going to be able to get into the actual modules because it is a login required for members only. But the nice thing is you can do it as an alum too, even somebody that's already moved on to a 4-year school. If you want to come back and log into the website, you can do 5-Star Competitive Edge later on, and advisors as well. All right, let's take a quick look at our communications. Thank you, Kristen, for keeping up with all of the links. And someone had asked about that pronunciation video, and there's no link to that currently. Actually, there is a link. It's on YouTube. I'll have to dig it up. So if you want to email me directly, if you would like that, I can dig it up, or I can send it to Kristen if you want to post your email, and we can get it out to everyone. It's hard to find. I don't know how to tell you exactly right off the top of my head without sharing that link. And there is a question about 5-Star Competitive Edge link in the Q&A box. And I think, Kristen, you might want to test this out. ptk.org/competitive edge, I believe. Sorry, guys, we have so many hyperlinks. I try to keep them all on the tip of my tongue, but hard to keep up with sometimes. Let's take a quick look at what you look like if you're a Phi Theta Kappa scholar and you decide that you're going to wear the regalia at graduation, which we certainly hope that your school is supporting you wearing all of this regalia. So this person has the stole, which is a bright gold Phi Theta Kappa stole, as well as honor cords and tassels, and we're seeing all sorts of wonderful social media posts with all of these students wearing our regalia, which really stands out. And we certainly hope that if you become a member of Phi Theta Kappa that you choose to wear this regalia. Some of our students even wear it at the 4-year school, if that school allows, which is up to the school and their policy. So we definitely want you to check on that before you just show up at graduation wearing all of this. But we want you to definitely be part of our community and part of our network. And this is something to be proud of. You've worked really hard. You take on a lot of responsibilities throughout being officers and getting involved in honors and action projects on your campus, college project, which is something that you work on with your administrators to really meet a need on your campus. So there's a lot of work that you're putting into this. Even though you've earned and deserve this recognition, you're also putting in a lot of work, and we want to make sure at graduation that you are recognized as a Phi Theta Kappa scholar. And a lot of our chapters just recently received graduation stoles because we do reward chapters who do an exceptional job with recruitment. Because in our eyes, if you're succeeding at recruitment, that means that more students have access to Phi Theta Kappa. And we know that there are life-changing opportunities through Phi Theta Kappa, so it's very important that we get the word out and spread the word about who we are. So when people get that invitation, they don't just throw it away and think it's a sorority or fraternity. So we want to make sure that everyone is getting the right idea about Phi Theta Kappa and truly makes an informed decision. Bill and Kelly, do you want to talk a little bit about graduation and what that's going to look like for you all? And Bill, I know you're a dual enrolled student, so I don't know if you've already had the opportunity to formally go through graduation, but are you all going to wear the regalia? Are you going to have that opportunity?
I graduated last spring. I did get my associates, and I did wear all the regalia, the honor stole, the cords, and the gold key. And it really makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd. There was Phi Theta Kappa members that graduated, so it was quite an honor.
I have yet to graduate.
You got some decisions to make, so you got some time.
Oh yes, but I plan on going all out, so I'm excited.
Great, that's awesome.
We have another question from someone on our conversation. Do you have to wear the gold tassel during graduation? And is there an option to wear the one the school made?
That is a good question. It's not mandatory as a Phi Theta Kappa member to wear any of the regalia. So I would just check with your chapter advisor, first of all, to make sure that whatever you do plan to wear is within the parameters of the policy for that school that you're attending. And just make sure that, you know, if you do want to wear regalia and perhaps that it's a little cost prohibitive for you right now, you can also ask your advisor if there's any assistance programs or if anyone might have one for you to borrow, for example. So we certainly don't want you to feel like there's not an opportunity for you to wear it or that you have to wear it. We're pretty flexible and certainly will answer any questions that you have, but I think your chapter advisor, since they are a faculty or staff member on your particular campus, would be the best resource for questions about what to wear and what not to wear. But as I mentioned earlier, there's no mandatory requirements for Phi Theta Kappa. If you want to accept membership and have that on your transcripts and go accept a scholarship with that, that's absolutely fine. But we certainly hope that if you're going to invest in membership, that you take it to the next level and leverage your membership. We want you to get the most out of it. And there's a lot of discounts and things through our corporate partners as well that we're very thankful for. There's discounts on computers, insurance, Bank of America and Geico are two of our big supporters. So some of our students also really literally cash in on the discounts that are available, and that's on our membership benefits portion of our website. And I believe that's ptk.org/membership benefits. Very good questions. Thank you all for asking all of these great questions about membership, and your curiosity is really showing that you're great ambassadors for the organization. And now I want to transition into a very important very important topic, which is scholarships, which is one of our 4 hallmarks. We talk about scholarship, leadership, fellowship, and service. And part of that scholarship piece is, and this is really a form of recognition as well, to earn a scholarship says a lot about you as a scholar. But also we want you to know what's in it in terms of financial support for you as a member of Phi Theta Kappa. So for this piece, I think I'm going to turn it over to Kristen, who happens to be part of the scholarships operation at Phi Theta Kappa. And as such, I think she is most prepared to talk to us about these little statistics that we see on the screen. So Kristen.
Yeah, these little statistics make up our daily work that we do here at Phi Theta Kappa in the scholarships department. We have 21 different programs that we administer for scholarships for you, for students. So that's a huge reason for you to really think about considering joining Phi Theta Kappa, not only for the scholarship opportunities, but what it really does to help you strengthen your skill set with preparing to apply, whether that's for scholarships or whether that's for transitioning to get your credentials at the associate level or applying at the 4-year level as well. Throughout these programs, we really make you think about what you've done, how you've done it, and really articulating that. So usually when we're in person, we like to talk about the number of applications that we receive. We receive annually over 71,000 applications for these 21 different programs. And you may say, wow, that's a lot. I may not have a chance at receiving one of those scholarships. But little did you know that only a fraction of those students who are applying actually complete the application. So your chances to receive these scholarships that Phi Theta Kappa administers are very high. So we have scholarships that are for you to help you complete at the associate's level, to help you complete the bachelor's level, master's levels. We have scholarships for nursing students in specific. We have scholarships that are open to all majors. And we also have partnerships with 4-year colleges and universities like Sharon at Cornell College that really dedicate a lot of resources, time and energy to really helping you select the best college for you and then financing that journey as well. So Sharon will share a little bit more information with you about that in just a little bit. But annually, we're awarding more than 500 students with scholarship opportunities. And I think one of my favorite scholarships is actually not really application heavy. How many of you really love memes? I do. I love looking on Pinterest and seeing different memes. So all of our scholarships are not very question heavy. We have one program that's the Geico Scholarship. It's called the Geico Creativity Scholarship, and it focuses on memes. So all you have to do is submit a short little phrase to one of our funny pictures that are selected, and the top funniest captioned photos are our winners for that particular scholarship. So as you can tell, there is never a dull day in the work that we get to do with scholarships. But I think one of the most humbling and rewarding facets of our jobs is that it's really not a job when you get to see life change happening throughout the process of being a member, applying the skill sets that you've learned, and being rewarded for all of your accomplishments that you've achieved in your communities and on your campuses.
Thank you, Kristen, and I appreciate you so much for working through all of these applications to make sure the students are getting awards, and that allows them to go on and finish their associate or transfer and get a bachelor's or even a master's degree through Phi Theta Kappa. And we're always expanding our partnerships. I know that in the college relations area that she mentioned, where we work with our four-year college partners, that's been going on for about 40 years. So over 4 decades of work have gone into trying to get the word out about Phi Theta Kappa to four-year schools. And Cornell College is one that has always shown high levels of support for Phi Theta Kappa members. And Cornell is located in Iowa, where Bill and Kelly, are two of our students who are on the line today, are actually from Iowa. So we wanted to just kind of illustrate these partnerships and how we have four-year colleges that are really willing to invest, not just locally, but in students from all over the country that are members of Phi Theta Kappa. And College Fish is mentioned on this screen. And if you're looking at this thinking, what is collegefish.org? They're throwing another website at us. But I promise you, this website is powered by Phi Theta Kappa. This is also our website. We have ptk.org and then collegefish.org. And it is a premier tool that we have, a transfer and scholarship transfer, or transfer scholarship search tool. And it's kind of like the match.com of scholarships for Phi Theta Kappa members, because it helps you to build a profile, even if you don't know the first step in transferring. If you feel lost, maybe you're a first-generation college student and you don't know what to do in terms of how to transfer, there's a checklist that's taking you through step-by-step of what you need to do and how to do it, and a timeline, which is very important. And so we have four-year colleges that invest in College Fish, and so they're searching the profiles or the database on the other end, kind of like the match.com, where they create the match and the algorithm puts you with certain people. This is the same thing. The algorithm is going to work its mathematical magic and put you with certain schools that would be a best fit for you. And also you can just use it as a search tool. But I would like to pull in Sharon to the conversation, because I happen to know that Sharon is a College Fish user, and I think it's really important to hear her perspective in terms of why are you using College Fish and what do you hope to find?
So College Fish, we've used it for many, many years. It's a great tool. It's an easy tool. You can go out and put your criteria, as Heather mentioned. You can request a certain GPA. You can request certain parts of the country. You can request particular majors, age, ethnicity. I'm sure I'm missing several things, but you pick the criteria and then you literally go fishing and you get a list of students, and then we can reach out to those students and let them know about the PTK scholarship opportunities at Cornell College and the other opportunities that are available to see if they would be a good match with Cornell. So it's a great way for us to get our word and our information out to them. And again, they are the best of the best. I probably sound like a broken record, but they are really the best students. And and it's a great tool. And again, it's an easy tool to use. So we go out and do a search every month to find the new students that may be out there.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for not only illustrating to us how it works, but also for using College Fish. We have a lot of recruiters that like the traditional face-to-face, and that's very important as well. And we have regional meetings as well as international convention where we invite four-year colleges to join us, and we have these massive transfer fairs. In fact, our transfer fair at our international convention is considered the largest in higher education for two-year colleges for having a transfer fair. And so we really have that market cornered, so to speak, but we also want to make sure online, because students, 24/7 access to this information is critical, and not everyone gets to travel to international convention or makes it to their regional conference. So we really appreciate your support in the internet space as well, so that students can truly have access to you no matter what time of day and where they're located. So we really appreciate that support. And Bill and Kelly, I see you've rejoined us, so thank you for coming back on the call. Do you all have anything to add about scholarships or college fish? Anything that from a student perspective you would find important to talk about?
I'm not sure. We usually, for our chapter, we always have, in our meetings, we always mention, hey, these are the scholarships that are coming up. Make sure that you get applied for those in time before the deadline. If you need help applying, our chapter advisor, we're here, the chapter officers are here. Even with competitive edge, because we encourage a lot of our chapter members to, become 5-star competitive edge members. We always have, me and Bill, we always make sure that we're always available to help students, with this case study, or, with the little quizzes, or, the little diary entries and stuff. And I think just to have that resource available for all of these students is incredible. And we can see the impact that it has in our little community campus.
For myself, I used College Fish quite a bit when I was searching for four-year schools, because it gave you all the information right there at your fingertips. How many students, student to instructor ratio, anything you wanted to know was right there.
That's great, and to Bill's point, it's so much better than Google because it's very specific. This is a tool that's designed by Phi Theta Kappa. We know our members, we know what you're looking for and what you're interested in. So it's much better than just Googling it. So if you're a member of Phi Theta Kappa and you're pulling your hair out because you're not finding enough time in the day to search all the internet for what you're looking for, just make it easy on yourself. There's already a tool there. You literally just need to build a profile and put a little time into that, answering those questions.
It really is cool because it takes all of the guesswork out for you. It matches you back up with colleges and scholarships that are a good fit for you. And especially when your time is so stretched when it comes to taking care of yourself and your family, your friends, actively maintaining social lives. I think everybody likes to do that, or most everybody. But you would like some time to be able to do the things that you need to do. So with College Fish, we really do try to make sure that the information is readily available and easily accessible for you. But I think, I'm not sure if we talked about this, but over 750 four-year colleges have designated scholarships exclusively for our members. And what that means is when you're getting ready to transfer to a four-year college, chances are the college of your choice or a college that you're very interested in has lucrative scholarship options available for you to really help you finance your education when you leave your community college. And we know the cost of attendance at a four-year college is much higher than it is at the community college. So we have valued partners that really see the benefit in recruiting Phi Theta Kappa students to come to their campus. And of course, scholarships is a great resource to help you not only get enrolled at that college, but also finish college, hopefully debt-free, right?
That is definitely the goal, and we hear stories of even international students or out-of-state students who were able to find a home at a four-year college that was willing to invest in them to the fullest extent, which that's incredible. It's hard to find a full ride anywhere, so even just hearing stories of that here and there, but there are tons of partial scholarships being handed out throughout the country at all 750 colleges that Kristen mentioned that offer Phi Theta Kappa specific scholarships. So we are very fortunate and thankful, and we know that that number will only grow over time as our members become, as we get more members, we get more universities interested in our members, and transfer. I don't know if anyone's been watching the news lately, but transfer students are being invested in at a very high level in this country right now, and we certainly hope that that trend continues. But I do want to go ahead for one more slide here, and I think our last one is questions after this. So we're at the end of what I wanted to discuss with you all in terms of why it's important to accept membership in Phi Theta Kappa. We talked a lot about the local level and what happens at your chapter meetings and your induction ceremonies, but also we kind of touched on these regional and international events as well that you're welcome to attend even as an alum of Phi Theta Kappa. We have regional events that include conferences, regional officer training, alumni initiatives. International, we have our huge Oscars of Phi Theta Kappa, we sometimes call it, but our international convention, which is PTK Catalyst. And that is where everyone wears some fancy clothing, as you see in the picture here, to our awards gala, and hopefully they get to make the stage as a top 100 chapter or most distinguished chapter. So we have some competitive aspects of Phi Theta Kappa, so if you like to be competitive, there's going to be plenty of things for you that will be of interest. We also have Honors Institute, which is a much more intimate setting of about 500 people instead of 4,000. And 500 members and advisors come together to get in a really close setting where we focus on our honors study topic. And it's a great critical thinking skill development week of activities where we listen to guest speakers and we dive in depth into these topics. That's the one that I likened very much to graduate school because it certainly feels like that when you get in your small group seminars. So these are opportunities for any members, and our chapters do a great job of fundraising and talking to their administrators to make relationships. It's really about building that network and strengthening those relationships to get the support that you need, not just from those four-year schools providing scholarships, but it's important to have support from your community and from your administrators and from your faculty and staff as well, so that everyone is on the same page about why it's important for students to consider this opportunity very seriously. And so with that said, I'd like to ask if Bill and Kelly would mind talking about any regional or international events. I know we touched a little bit about PTK Catalyst earlier, but do you have any initiatives on your campus to help you with fundraising, or how do you go about getting ready for these regional and international events?
We lost our audio again. Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Regional and international events. Is there anything you do on your campus to prepare for those, fundraising, or just talking to supporters about how important it is to let you go to these events and miss classes? Or
Regional international events.
What about them?
yes.
As far as,
oh, do you get fundraising or support to go to events?
do you want to go ahead?
We are lucky here because our administration really supports us when it comes to those things. I know other chapters are not quite as lucky. We do have a couple fundraisers throughout the year, specifically a silent auction in the spring, or in the fall. But that usually, a lot of our money that we raise there goes to charity. That's our main event for charity. We donate to like the food bank and the homeless shelter.
There are our alumni association here in Iowa. They are just amazing and fantastic. They do a lot of fundraising to help chapters be able to come to regional events. As far as international goes, sometimes it's a little bit up to the college administration plus chapter resources. So I know some chapters aren't fortunate enough to be able to attend, most of our the international, even the Honors Institute. But usually Bill and I have a plan for our upcoming office term to kind of bridge that gap for some chapters that are struggling financially because they don't get that support from their college administration, and because I value fellowship above all else, and I really want everybody from our Iowa region to be with us wherever we go. So
that's great, and I appreciate the fact that your administrators are supportive. I think that's so important, and to get the maximum impact on the campus, having that support and that investment in your chapter is really going to pay dividends for the administrators too, because they're going to see their students completing and graduating and staying engaged on campus. So it's a real win-win partnership when your administrators support you. And I know you guys are really lucky because you happen to be sitting in the Phi Theta Kappa office on your campus, and it's incredible that you have office space and meeting space available for you as well. And I do appreciate your perspective on that. It's not easy all the time to do fundraising. But another great transferable marketable skill to be able to tell scholarship providers or four-year recruiters, you know, I can do public speaking, I can do fundraising, I'm comfortable recruiting people who I've never met before, complete strangers. So we hope you definitely make note of those things and those important skills you're developing. The last thing I'll touch on before I bring Sharon back into the conversation here is we do not want the cost of membership to prohibit someone from the opportunity to become a member of Phi Theta Kappa. So if you come across students and when you're recruiting and trying to grow your chapter, please make sure that if they express that they have extreme financial need or that it's just not possible for them, we certainly want to hear from those students. And a lot of times your foundation on your campuses, maybe your student support offices, there are a lot of different resources that you may not know about that we may be able to help you uncover in terms of membership assistance. We even have a fund at headquarters called the Golden Opportunity Scholarship, and we're very fortunate for a lot of our alumni as well as some of our corporate sponsors and our providers of other scholarship opportunities are now investing in this Golden Opportunity Scholarship Fund to help people just with that first step of membership acceptance and being able to afford it. So Sharon, I'd like to just close, I guess, with asking you to talk a little bit more about Cornell College. And I know a lot of people have transfer on their mind right now because it's May and the fall is fast approaching. And I'm curious to know, do y'all take transfer students in the fall semester? Is that when you prefer that they transfer? Or just talk to us a little bit about the timeline of transfer for Cornell.
Sure, we'll take them in the fall, and we also take spring transfers. I think the fall is a little bit easier to transition in, but we'll take them in the spring as well. We do accept transfer applicants in May and June and the early part of July because a lot of students finish up their semester and then decide where they want to go. And so there are still openings at Cornell for this fall.
That is wonderful. And Sharon, if you have an opportunity to either say out loud or type it in, we would love to get your contact information in case students are interested in emailing you or giving you a call, whichever you prefer. And we are certainly appreciative of your support and for being here and additionally for always being available for students year round to consider applying to Cornell College. Bill and Kelly, do you have any idea where you're going to go? Well, Bill, I already know where you're enrolled. Bill's at Briarcliff College, which is also in Iowa. And Kelly, do you know where you're going to go?
I'm currently attending Western Iowa Tech, but I do have plans to attend a four-year university, but I'm not quite sure yet because Phi Theta Kappa has so many opportunities and they're all so good. I just don't know which one to pick.
That's great. So you're staying open-minded. Well, if you need Sharon's information, it's in the chat box, so y'all can
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, Kristen, do you have any closing remarks on behalf of scholarships?
Other than the fact that I hope you join and I hope that I get to see your name cross our desk when you apply for scholarships and that we are able to say, hey, you're a winner of our scholarships. So certainly if you have questions about scholarships at any point in time, you can let us know. I'll put our contact information in the chat box as well. So you can contact me directly or our scholarship operations team anytime you have questions.
Thank you so much, Kristen, and thank you, Sharon, for being here on behalf of Cornell College and showing your support today. We really appreciate your willingness to financially invest in members and to help them with the very cumbersome process of transfer. It's sometimes very intimidating to students, but we know that you're making things as easy as possible at Cornell for our Phi Theta Kappa members. And Bill and Kelly, we thank you for your ambassadorship and your leadership that you're showing at your institution in Iowa, and we appreciate you being on here to advocate for Phi Theta Kappa to inspire some future members. And with all of that said, unless anyone has any closing remarks, we will go ahead and end the call. I see that our questions have stopped coming in and we're approaching the end of the hour. And Kristen has her information in the chat box if you want to jot this down before the recording comes to an end and we close the room here. And then also my email address is located in the chat box. Should you have any questions about recruitment or membership issues or questions, I can certainly help. Kristen is the go-to for scholarships for sure. and we have Sharon's information as well. Bill and Kelly, do you want to put your information in the box? Do you want to put your email address in the chat box? If you want to say anything too, closing words on why you should become a member of Phi Theta Kappa, this is your moment.
Good. I'll put the information in.
Wonderful organization, and you won't be sorry. I know I'm planning on joining the Alumni Association when I'm done with this year because they do so much great work. I have not regretted a minute of it.
Thank you so much, Bill. How about you, Kelly? You've been quiet. Why are you a member of Phi Theta Kappa?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, sorry, I'm just getting our emails out there. Gosh, I was approached by one of my friends, and they told me that, you know, you're so smart, you're a tutor on campus, you know, you should really take part. I mean, there's a bunch of great opportunities. And so I started to get involved, and I didn't really, and at first for me, I thought, well, what could PTK do for me? But then we had our Honors in Action project, and it really did impact my life a lot because we did our topic on mental health. And so now I really understand the values of PTK a lot more than I did when I joined. And so now I'm just in love with PTK. I'm all about it. And I try to spread that love, that knowledge, and that awareness about PTK, so other students can feel it too. So it's not about, oh, pay $70 and just be a part of it. And there's just so much more to PTK, and that's why I'm here, and that's what I love about this organization.
Thank you so much. And I promise we did not practice this. We didn't even have questions ready. I said, whatever they ask you, just answer. So they weren't even preparing these impromptu speeches. So great skill development opportunity for both of you being put on the spot. So thank you all for coming, and I really appreciate it. Sharon, is there anything else that you wish to say before we sign off?
Again, they're the best of the best, so join.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate everyone for joining us in the middle of a day, on the beginning of a week when you're trying to graduate and finish your finals and think about the next step. So best of luck to everyone who's out there working hard on academics. We're so proud of you, and we hope to welcome you to the Phi Theta Kappa family and community of scholars very soon. And if you're already a member or you're an advisor joining us today, thank you for taking time to invest even further in the organization. You're really helping to further our mission, and we appreciate you very much. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.